Hey everyone, this is Randy Brown from BibleBindGuide.com. Today I wanted to show you the very first review copy I ever received. I've been reviewing Bibles for a long time. I just haven't been writing them down or videoing them for that long. Started at BibleBindGuide.com in 2011. Started doing video reviews a year or so ago. My very first website was actually 2001, 2000 or 2001. It was one of those free sites, and I didn't know what I was doing, and so I was trying to review Bibles, and I quit doing that and went to college and learned about websites and all that sort of thing, and then started Bible Buying Guide in 2011. But this is my very first review copy, and I received it from Thomas Nelson. This is model, if I can read that correctly, it's model 401, I think that is. Maybe, yeah, 401. New King James from 1984. So that's how long I've been getting review copies, since 1984. And I filled out a form in a magazine. It was back when I was a teenager, and they approved me and sent it to me. And the goal was to tell my friends about it. Use it, tell my friends about it. That's what they told me to do, and that's what I did. Everyone got tired of hearing me talking about my new King James, and it was a brand new Bible because it just released in 1982, I think it was. So anyway, what we have here, well, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to cover that in a minute. But, yeah, this thing is amazing. I love reading from this. It's a verse by verse, dark font. It's about a 10-point, just looking at it from my eye without measuring it. It's about a 10-point font. Footnotes in the bottom, in the footer. We have our section headings, and then just double column, verse by verse. Bold numbers. I'll bring it up here when you see it. Bold numbers for new paragraphs. So that was your paragraph markers. So they stand out. Everything is here as far as the italics for supplied words. And that's one of the features that I like about the King James and the New King James. And then poetry, it has a poetic setting. I'm sure I can find some poetry somewhere. There you go. Poetry is set out in a poetic setting. Now, this is the way I want a King James to be set out. Not every King James needs to be, the same type of verse by verse. You can also do the poetic settings. Let's look at some letters. There's a letter here in Ezra where they'll set a letter apart like this. But it's still verse by verse. So if you like verse by verse, you could still have poetry and letters, and it's just easier to see it, easier to see the type of writing that it is, because the Bible is not all one type of writing. So yeah, I'd love to have a King James just like this. And I also like paragraph settings. There is a use for all of it. There's a use for paragraph. There's a use for verse by verse. To me, it's not an either or. I want that too. Give me that too. That's just pretty. I don't even know the GSM of this paper, but if I were guessing, I'd call that 40. I'd call that a 40 GSM. Yeah, this Bible's been used a lot. Red letter. That red is dark. It's beautiful. I love that red. I like a dark red. And then all the way back here, this is a Smithsonian edition. You can see the signatures. And then, if I held that to the camera correctly, and then we have the introduction at the end. History of the King James. And then it goes through. You can actually still buy these on eBay and on in some used bookstores like McKay's. I buy used Bibles all the time in used bookstores. I have a ton of them. I like to go through and show those. But I wanted to start with this one, my very first review copy. So this shows a little bit of the purpose of revising, the purpose of the revision of the New King James. Really nice. So what I'm doing here, I started a color code when I was a wee lad. Let's see. Well, this was 84, and I started coloring it immediately. So I started the color code around 82 to 83, in that range. And I was getting books that had different colors for different topics. And so I liked the idea of the topics and the colors, and so I just stuck with it. That's basically all it was. So I put a color code up here in the front to show what my topics were. Just pay no attention to my spelling. and that's how I colored. So I colored by topic. I don't do it in every Bible. I don't do it, extensively. Some I do very extensively. And I don't do it this way anymore. I've got different methods. I actually have a book, and that's not what I'm trying to talk about, but I'll tell you anyway. I actually have a book called Easy Bible Marking Guide for Kindle. And I am currently working on an update, and I show all my marking methods and everything in there. But I'm currently working on an update that will expand it probably at least 50%. I'm adding a lot more detail, a lot more information, a lot more examples, a lot more photos. When I wrote the book in 2012, you have, on the Kindle, you have certain file sizes. And if you go beyond a certain file size, you're charged for part of the download. So I tried to keep my images small, but I didn't know how at the time. And so I just made the image size small, but now I have better technology, better techniques and things like that. Now I actually write about the web for a living, so I actually have to learn all those processes and things. So now I can add more photos in larger size, in higher detail, higher quality, much higher quality, and then I can have even smaller file sizes for larger photos. So I'm updating that book, and that'll be out hopefully spring. Hopefully spring. I'm going to call it spring. Easy Bible Marking Guide. Now, a little secret now. The price on it's going to go up. But if you buy it at its current price, you get the update for the same, you don't have to pay anymore for it. So I recommend that. I'm also going to turn it into a workshop. So there's going to be a lot there. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this. Beautiful layout, even in verse by verse. Beautiful layout. Easy to read. Nice hand size. Let's look at the size. I don't remember if I showed you this. Let's see, we got about 5 3/4 by 8 1/2 by 1 1/2. Beautiful little carry Bible. First ever review copy from Thomas Nelson, 1984. Thanks for watching.